and welcome to White Label Advice. My name is Brooke McNeely. I am the VP of Marketing here at WhyteSpyder, and I'm joined today with our wonderful guests. We're here, Jackie Jensen and Serge Cruz. Thank you, and welcome you guys.
Hello.
All right. We've had you both on here before, but why don't you just remind us, Jackie, what is it you do here at WhyteSpyder?
Yes, I am a senior lead on the account services team.
That's awesome. And what does that mean?
So that's a great question.
Yeah. Everything.
Yeah, a lot of content related stuff, transactability, buy box issues, which we're going to be talking about today. Really any kind of Walmart account management that our suppliers need help with.
All right. And Serge, what is it you do? I feel like your title changes every time you come on. So what is your title today?
Yeah, so I was on the account services team, and that was great. But now I'm moving into a learning and development role here at WhyteSpyder. We have all this great knowledge and great expertise. So now it's just a matter of getting it all consolidated and organized, which will be my job going forward.
That's exciting. Well, cool. Well, thank you and welcome you guys. Today we wanted to talk about the buy box. And so this is one of the most important things on Walmart.com because it is how shoppers make their purchase and how vendors kind of get paid. So what is a buy box?
When customers are shopping online and they go to a product page, you see a retail, and I think this would be a perfect time to show kind of a visual because I'm a very visual learner. But if you go to the product page and you see the retail, you can see who it's sold and shipped by. So in cases of primary, so first party suppliers, those items will say sold and shipped by Walmart.com. If it is a marketplace supplier or something similar, it will say sold and shipped by a company name that's not Walmart.com. So you've got a few options. You've got different retails depending on who's selling it. You've got different shipping speeds. All of that can impact who essentially wins the buy box. So whoever is the first listing that customers see when they click into a product detail page. So in this example, it shows that Walmart.com, the first party supplier, is winning the buy box because they've got the best retail and the best shipping speed, and they've got inventory. But if you look at the other offers, you can see that somebody else has a lower retail, but the shipping speed is a lot longer. It's about a week and a half away from today versus the first party supplier who's winning the buy box. It is going to ship in the next couple of days. So
that's exciting. So it's probably like, as a first party supplier, and when that's your brand and it's your product, you want to be winning the buy box.
Correct.
And so, what happens when they're not winning the buy box? I mean, it's not like this is a legit thing that Walmart does, so can you explain how could another seller win the buy box legitimately?
Yeah. So it comes down to retail, inventory, and shipping speed. So those are the big three factors that you want to take into account. So, definitely customers gravitate towards the lowest retail, of course, but Walmart's system will feed up the best retail price automatically and give some other supplier the buy box. So suppliers always want to be monitoring their retails, working with the merchants to ensure that those retails are competitive and that they've got inventory and that their shipping speed is quick.
All right. That's exciting. Do you have anything to add, Serge?
No, I think definitely we've seen way more marketplace competition pop up. I think the advent of WFS and how that has developed has made it really much easier and much more efficient for marketplace sellers to have that fast shipping speed. So they may have had that price component before, but their shipping speed was really limited by their own operations, whereas now they're able to leverage the Walmart system to really speed up fulfillment.
All right. Well, now let's talk about an invader. So because sometimes there's legit sellers and there's a competition going on, and that's kind of the environment that Walmart wants to create,
right? But within the buy box,
yeah. But sometimes there's an invader, and so what is an invader?
Yeah, for sure. So on the Walmart backend, PDPs are determined by UPC or a GTIN, which is a universal code that is recognized across retailers and is registered in the GS1 database. And so you can be very confident that when you set up an item with that UPC, it will register the right PDP as well. So for an example, we have, a swing set. We might have the brand owner sets up the swing set with the right UPC, but there might be a marketplace seller that for some reason has inventory of this same swing set. So they'll use that UPC, and that will lead to what Jackie was just showing, where you have multiple sellers on one product detail page because they're using the same UPC. What an invader will do is they don't really want to participate in that competition. They don't want to have to compete for price or fulfillment speed. So they will just use another UPC for an unrelated item, and in some cases, a made-up UPC, so that they can circumvent the rules that Walmart has in place.
So they make like a fake page. Is that what's?
It'll basically be a clone in many cases, where they'll actually take the content from the real page and then set it up. And the pages can look identical, except two main differences. On the back end, the UPC will not be correct. And then for the customer experience, the customer isn't going to have those options to buy from another seller.
Okay. So what is the difference? Like, how can people tell like what's a real Walmart page and what's an invader page?
I think usually a good indicator is seeing sold and shipped by Walmart. You can know that is the 1P, Walmart has signed off and said this is legitimate inventory. And then if you see multiple sellers, it often means that everybody has put in the correct UPC and that they understand, I will have to compete for this buy box. There is an implicit agreement there. Whereas with an invader, you usually don't ever see another, seller fighting for that buy box, simply because how would they ever guess what UPC that seller used? There wouldn't really be a way to do that efficiently.
I think also just really having an eagle eye on the content and the images and seeing, odd symbols and titles and blurry images can be a really good indicator for the customers and the suppliers to kind of pick out those invaders that look a little questionable.
How do these exist? Like, why, like how do they get through? I guess it's just Walmart's a really big environment, so it's like sometimes these things go through. So how does it happen? And how does it hurt the shopping experience?
Yeah, so the first one is on Seller Center. Walmart has a pretty robust catalog of UPCs, but in any case with any retailer, when you are so big, there will be blind spots or points where someone will be able to manipulate the system. And that's what's happening, where people are punching in a UPC and registering this item. And in the Walmart system, they have no reason to believe that this person would act in bad faith, but unfortunately they are, and they are making a clone listing. And so that's how these people are sort of slipping through and how these products are getting in front of customers. And then as far as the customer experience, I think you just get really overwhelmed searching for some items, and you'll just see clone upon clone of the same item. And as a shopper, you don't know who you can trust a lot of the time without clicking in. And sometimes it's easier to just say, you know what, I'm not going to buy online. I'm just going to go in store where I know I can count on the product and know exactly what I'm buying, or, what I'm interested in shopping for.
Yeah, I think also going for the lowest price. So if customers have been shopping for a while and they see all these duplicate products, they're probably just going to go for the lowest cost. I think also it can be, in some instances, almost a safety concern. So if you're buying like over-the-counter medicine and you've got invaders, that's really risky for the customer because you don't exactly know what you're buying. You don't know if it's legitimate. I think one of my personal experiences, I was buying hair products on a website, and I was buying something that was like off the market, and I didn't realize because it was a third-party listing. And so you just want to be careful. I mean, nothing bad happened, but it's very easy for them to slip through the cracks, like Sergio mentioned. But I think, just continuing to keep an eye out as a supplier, monitoring the site for those products that are not yours, and making people like us at WhyteSpyder aware, or opening tickets with your merchant would be the best way to kind of monitor those.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Like, how can they protect themselves from invaders? And it's just really just keeping an eye out, being
being very vigilant of what you're seeing, who you're competing with, having frequent conversations with us at WhyteSpyder or merchants, and raising the red flag. And even if it's not necessarily an invader, you just want to be hyper vigilant, I think is really the key there.
Anything to add, Serge?
Yeah, I would say right now, it is a little bit of the Wild West, where luckily at SKU Ninja, we have a really great tool that lets you monitor when you are losing the buy box. And so that tool is super helpful and cuts down on a lot of the manual work. But with invaders, because they're using non-traceable UPCs, you really, like Jackie said, you really just have to be on the front lines trying to find these clone listings, as it were. And then I would say another way to defend yourself is just making sure that you're set up in the Walmart brand portal, and that Walmart knows that if you have this brand and you're selling on Walmart, you want to make sure that Walmart understands you are the brand owner. And so getting set up with the brand portal is a really, really great way to defend yourself.
So what is the brand portal? That sounds really scientific or like spacey. Like
it's basically a brand registry where Walmart is basically trying to connect with brand owners, and in order to be registered successfully with the brand portal, you need to make sure that you have the proper USPTO number, that you have a proper, legal basis for claiming that you own this brand, and that, any content or product is, first and foremost belongs to you.
All right, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Okay, and one of the last questions is, how do we make it easier for people to accomplish, just basically how do we make it easier for brands to just kind of stay on top of everything and like help them find invaders?
I think one of the things that we do, just through virtue of working so closely on these accounts, I will find invaders. So when I'm looking at how our items are performing on different keywords, when I look at how content has fluctuated, that will just naturally, organically bring me to these invaders. And then, it's very easy because I'm very familiar with the brand portal operations and very familiar with what Walmart will action on and what they won't action on. It makes that process just so much simpler, where you can just basically say, Serge has got it. He reports back to me when he gets invaders removed, or he reports back to me when, unfortunately, we can't get them removed. It is that sort of peace of mind that somebody who is very familiar with the system is handling that for you.
Yeah, it's almost like we have additional eyes on your products. We're acting kind of as a shopper, kind of scraping the shelf. I really like to think of it as crawling the shelf with human eyes, because systems, while they're really good at kind of giving you a head start into finding some of these issues, I think having the human element, having somebody else just look manually as if they were a shopper, is another really key piece of why we can help and how we can help.
Yeah, but you're not just a shopper. You're like a shopper that knows what to look for.
Yeah, exactly. I think Serge and I have really good previous experience kind of being able to see things that maybe not everybody else can see from our days at Walmart.
Mm-hmm. And how does a brand go about like reporting it? Like, you said you fill out a ticket. Like, what is the process? Like, once you find one, you're like, okay, hey, I want this guy to stop selling my stuff.
Yeah, it's an internal Walmart ticket. So you want to call it out to Walmart. You can submit through the brand portal and just make Walmart aware of what you're seeing. But Serge, if you want to go into like the more detail on that.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that the brand portal will handle maybe your most flagrant violations, where you'll have counterfeit product, or you'll have a blatant trademark or copyright violation where they are using your content that you paid for and owned in order to sell product on a non-legitimate page. That would, qualify as a copyright violation. But for some of those more nuanced tickets where it is a duplicate UPC with its own content, that will probably land squarely with your merchant if you have a merchant relationship, or with a Walmart ticket through Item 360 if you don't have access to your merchant's contact.
Yeah. And have we helped in the past with like helping like identify and report it to merchants, or because we have a pretty close relationship with everybody at Walmart, I feel like.
I haven't personally recently submitted a ticket for those, but yeah, with our connected content partner access, we're able to open Walmart internal tickets, which, we can get more eyes on it a little bit quicker than submitting it necessarily through the brand portal. So I think that's really beneficial, and we see quick action with that.
Anything to add, Serge?
Yeah, and in addition to working sort of through the Walmart systems, we're also trying to just get in the room with Walmart and explain to them sort of the intimate details of what we're seeing. I think last month I actually was able to meet with Walmart Trust and Safety and sort of present to them some of the more specific issues that we've been running into when it comes to these invaders and buy box issues. And so, not only are we working in the systems, we're also trying to improve those systems so that they're more efficient going forward. And hopefully we will have somebody working with the San Bruno team, somebody with the team down in Bentonville, and then somebody out on the East Coast working with the Hoboken team. So that's my big dream, is to work and sort of have somebody in each time zone. But in the short term, it's something that is top of mind for us.
That's awesome. Well, good job. So basically, you want to work with WhyteSpyder because we help make everything easier, correct?
Always.
All right. Well, thank you guys for being here. We really appreciate it. And and so if anybody has any questions about buy boxes and your buy box needs, well, you know where to come. You come right here, WhyteSpyder. All right. Thank you guys.